Hi there. My name is David McLeod. I am your life mastery coach and the lead author of the #1 international best-selling book, Gifts of Wisdom, Practices for Healing and Empowerment. I'm also one of the co-authors of the best-selling series, The Wellness Universe Guide to Complete Self-Care. Welcome to Life Mastery Soul Memos, my monthly series is designed to help you expand and magnify your life, one simple idea at a time. This is episode 71. And today my topic title is Sin, a Backdoor to Self-Awareness. We all know the heavy, dragging sensation of feeling wrong. Whether it is a lingering regret from a past mistake, a habit that keeps us stuck, or a general sense that we are falling short of some unspoken, unreachable standard. The concept of sin often functions like a spiritual anchor. It pulls us down into a state of deep contraction where we feel separated from our purpose, separated from others, and most painfully, separated from our source, our God, our Creator. We spend so much of our precious energy trying to fix this perceived brokenness, often by criticizing ourselves into submission. We moralize our own shadows, convinced that if we just judge ourselves harshly enough, grace will eventually descend upon us. But what if the entire framework of sin, as some inherent unfixable flaw, is a fundamental misinterpretation? What if, at its core, sin is simply a case of mistaken identity, a temporary, correctable ignorance of who you truly are? When we recognize that sin is just a form of ignorance, the game changes entirely. It stops being a moral courtroom and starts being a classroom. If you truly understood that you are a reflection of all that is, you would realize that you are never actually separated from the source of all wisdom and truth. The reason we stumble and make messes of our lives is not because we are fundamentally bad. It is because we have momentarily forgotten our true nature. We go through life acting as if we are small, fragile things living in a world of scarcity, when in reality, your consciousness is woven into the very fabric of the universe. There's nothing that you are not. When you act from a place of fear, malice, or selfishness, you are acting as if you are a stranger to life, rather than its living expression. Understanding this doesn't just clear your conscience, it shifts your entire biology. When you stay stuck in a sin and shame loop, you keep your brain in a state of high alert stress, activating the amygdala and literally powering down your prefrontal cortex. Conversely, moving towards self-compassion shifts your nervous system into a restorative, parasympathetic state, lowering cortisol and boosting the very cognitive functions that allow you to learn and grow. To recognize when you are falling into this pattern of self-judgment, watch for these 5 common indicators. 1. Moralizing emotions. You label your negative feelings as bad or sinful, turning simple data points into indictments of your character. 2. Historical imprisonment. You treat past mistakes as permanent stains rather than schoolroom lessons, often judging who you were yesterday by the wisdom you possess today. 3. Performance anxiety. You adopt a perfectionist's mask, performing goodness to avoid being seen as flawed, which keeps you from ever being truly known. 4. Comparative deficiency. You look at the trajectory of another person and use that person's external output to validate your own internal moral worth. And 5. The scarcity script. You operate from a deep, hollow belief that you are essentially not enough, which is ultimately just a forgetting of your connection to the infinite. When you are ready to move past the fear of your own shadow and embrace the truth of your wholeness, you might want to try these 3 practices. 1. The observer's pivot. When judgment arises, stop and ask, who is the I that is observing this feeling? You will find that the part of you that notices the mistake is calm, detached, and wise. Shift your identity to that observer. You are not the error, you are the awareness that noticed it. 2. The radical truth audit. Take a moment where you felt you had sinned or acted poorly and perform an audit of your knowledge at that time. Did you know better then? Were you acting out of a pattern you hadn't yet identified? Reframing a moral stain as a learning gap instead instantly dissolves the fear and replaces it with proactive curiosity. And 3, the integration breath. When fear bubbles up, visualize yourself breathing into that physical contraction. Expand your sense of self until you feel, even if just for a second, that you are not the atmosphere, not the balloon. It softens the edges of your ego and reminds you that you are part of the whole. Now, this isn't just feel-good talk. It is the path to true life mastery. By reimagining sin as mere ignorance, you transform your life from a courtroom of endless judgment into a laboratory of expression. When you let go of the self-flagellation, you regain the clarity that allows you to see the world for what it truly is, a canvas, not a cross. You are not a creature of error trying to reach heaven. You are a spark of the divine, currently busy playing out the role of a human. Embrace your capacity to learn and step into the authentic, quiet authority that comes from knowing you are exactly where you are meant to be in your evolutionary journey. If you like being inspired by people who learn from their circumstances and embrace the wisdom that emerges naturally out of those situations, then you'll love my book, Gifts of Wisdom, Practices for Healing and Empowerment. Please head over to Amazon right now and grab a copy for yourself. And maybe grab one for a friend as well. Remember, dear friend, sin is just another word for ignorance. When you know the deepest truth of who you really are, sin is impossible. This is because you are all that is. There is nothing you are not. And therefore, you have access to all knowledge in the universe, and you can use it to heal yourself whenever you want to. Let me know your thoughts about this. And if you would like some one-on-one support, please reach out to me directly. I'll see you next time on Life Mastery Soul Memos. Bye-bye for now.